You're now listening to the show about the shit in life that's just a bit too much from the perspective of stand-up comics. With our hosts, Carmelo Bongiovi and Ken Krantz. This week's topic, The Aftermath Part 2. With our guest, Jim Florentine. This is A Bit Too Much.
You told me the funniest story ever. You were telling me about how your brother is like a hostage negotiator, or he negotiates with terrorists.
With the Taliban.
And
he works for this company in Afghanistan, so he has to negotiate with the Taliban.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said, like, in the beginning, when every communication between you and your ex would end in a fight, that she would text you, and then you would forward the text to, like, your hostage negotiator brother and be like, can you respond to this in a way that makes me seem human?
Yeah, because it would come out. If it's me sending that text, I'm going to get fuck you back, or she's not going to respond.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's all rage.
Sure,
Sure. So I'm like, hey, is there any way, can you help me with this? Because I'm ready to fucking explode.
Right.
And I'm going to put
She's
it in.
a Taliban right now.
I'm going to put it in text. You know what I mean? You negotiate getting our hostages back. He just helped get that recent guy back.
That's
the
amazing.
guy from Afghanistan.
Oh, wow.
That the Taliban released. Yeah. I mean, he was part of that, whatever. But, you know, so he's like, okay, send this. Okay. And then all of a sudden I got, sure. Six smiley faces instead of fuck you.
Like, wow, you're good at your job, man.
I know, but also if there's a parallel between how hard divorce is and like communicate, like you got to bring in a hostage negotiator.
The only thing that works is bringing in someone who negotiates with terrorists. That's what an ex-wife, that's the kind of havoc an ex-wife
Yeah, they're like emotional
can wreak on their
terrorists.
ex-husband.
Yeah.
Is that the only way you can have an amicable conversation is if you bring in a terrorist negotiator.
And that, you know, now he doesn't have to do it because I'm so far removed from it.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
she sends me something, then I get mad. I don't even get mad. I'm like,
Yeah. Right.
whatever.
It's like, there's
okay,
no
let me
emotion
see.
anymore.
All right, hey, why don't we do this? Whatever. But in the beginning, I needed that.
Yeah.
You know, because you just, you know, there's just you're just pure rage.
So much rage.
Yeah.
It's so funny too. Like you look back through some of your texts and it's like, I've had it up to here with your shit. Go fuck yourself. And then the next text is like, hey, I'm still picking her up at Chuck E. Cheese at 4.
Right. Because you still have to have the regular, what do we do with our kids?
I can't wait. Like, honestly, I can't wait. I think we decided my daughter would get a phone when she's 10 and she's 9 now. So I just can't wait for her to get a phone and have so much cut out because so much of it is just trying
to FaceTime with her.
FaceTime and coordinate it.
Right.
And,
well, just know that your ex is going to be looking through every text.
Yeah.
Watching, you know, any text that you guys back and forth, she's going to read all that stuff. So
yeah, which to a degree she has to, right? Because when your kid gets a phone, you got to like monitor it. But yeah, you can't slip. That's mom.
I know mom's a pain in the ass. Sorry, you can never send that text. I know mom's a pain in the ass. Sorry, your ex might read that before she reads it.
Yeah. Like, is this? And then she'll screenshot it, send it to herself, send it to you. But this is how you talk to our daughter. Yeah. But you will have that is not, at least the phone calls.
When you send her a text, you got to pretend like your ex-wife is right over her shoulder and they're reading it together. You have to. That's the way you have to do it.
She's in the room.
Yeah. Like you're writing a North Korean.
Yeah. You have to be like a mobster. You know, the mobsters would never talk in the restaurant. Or they'd always walk out in the middle of the friggin', you know, in the parking lot and talk.
Right.
So they're not bugged. So that's what you have to wait for your daughter to get to you when you pick her up. So what happened at mom's?
Yeah.
You can never do it through text. Is everything okay over there? What's going? You just do it when she gets in the car.
Sounds of brutal divorces that we're relating it to terrorism and the mafia.
That's how bad it gets.
Brutal.
That's how bad it gets. I've noticed things are either, at least for now, it's like things are either totally quiet or they're like the sky is falling. You know, it's like it's either just totally quiet or it's nuclear.
Yeah. You've not reached the point of like we could just talk this out like that you're not removed far enough.
Yeah. It's just amazing that his ex-friend is, you know, moved in on his wife.
Yeah.
in the house.
When they got and living in a house, and now it's turned on him.
Just be a dude about it?
Yeah.
You know
and
what I
just
mean?
say, hey, man, look, I fell in love with you. Sorry, dude, I fell in love with your wife, man. Your ex-wife.
Right.
I don't know what happened.
You won't even get mad at that, right? You'll be like,
I just
yeah,
caught
well,
feelings with her, and I'm sorry. I never, believe me, when you guys were together, I never looked at her like, oh, man, if
Well,
they
that's
ever break up.
so I found out. I think I found out differently, but
that he did. But,
no.
but
I've heard but I heard after the fact that he would make comments about her while we were still married. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he liked her the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But even so, like if a guy just comes up and say, hey, man, sorry, I just fell in love with her. It's not that,
Yeah.
I know she's your ex. I'm going to treat your kid great. And, I still want to have a friendship with you. It's obviously not going to be what it is, but, I hope you're cool with it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. Most guys will go, I respect that.
it.
I respect this moment right now that you're saying this. Go be happy.
That's it.
That's how most guys would react.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's something about being with someone when they're rageful about something. All right, let me rephrase that. There's something when you're a guy and you're with a woman and the woman is the one who's mad about something where you feel like you have to support them in everything they do. I'm not saying I'm not justifying the behavior,
right?
But it does happen.
No, I totally. He should be protecting her.
My wife gets mad about things that I don't care about, and I'm like, yeah, hon. I have false rage. I act like I'm mad about it. You're like, yeah. So in this case, but this is a fucking extra layer of fucked up because you were friends with it.
You know what the sad thing is? If they ever break up, let's say they break up, whatever, and he moves on, he's going to come right back to Ken and go, dude, I'm sorry.
Nah, I don't think so.
He will. It's like 2 years. Let's say they break up in a month.
Yeah.
Within a year, 6 months to a year, all the friends you'll get back and be like, dude, I'm sorry, man. She had me brainwashed. And she said, don't ever talk to him. He's a piece of shit. So I couldn't come up to you at the birthday party and I wanted to.
The other friends are probably all doing it for their wives, I would imagine. Yeah. Because their wives are they're.
Yeah,
you're the outcast because she's still in the house. She still has the kid. She still has the family unit. You're the outcast. It's easier to sever ties with you. And those guys are like, I'm not going to, if I don't break up with Ken, because we talked about that. You had like one of the friends like brought you to a diner and broke up with you. So I'm like, oh, ew. Like that's him, which is weird because it's like 3 people removed. That's him adhering to his wife, who is staying loyal to your wife as well.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
That's the women sticking together and then the husband's going along. And as a result, Ken got brought to a diner for a man-on-man breakup with another friend. And I'm like, what? Who the fuck does that? I was like, the second I realize a guy friend's trying to break up with me, I'd be like, get your shit to go and let's not have this conversation. I'll just never speak. People could be so dead to me so quickly. Just bye. Goodbye. I don't care if we've been friends for 30 years. I'm not having a breakup with you, dude.
Yeah.
We could have been done over. One of your old friends.
It was like a lifelong friend, and he's in that group. Invited me to and I don't speak to any of them anymore. So they're all just blocked and cut out of my life, and I'm actually okay with it now. Enough time has passed that I don't really. Yeah. But it's when they continue to insert themselves between me and my ex. That's where I get like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What did the guy say to you?
Wait,
how long did you know him for? Since when? What grade or age?
I've known him since I was 10 years old.
Unbelievable.
It's insane.
And what did he do?
He broke up with me at a diner, like in public, I guess, so I couldn't.
So you can cry,
make us out.
You couldn't cause a scene.
He basically wanted to let me know everything I did that had upset him, and I listened to him, and I apologized. And I was like, "Hey, man,
what did you do that upset him?"
It was unrelated to my divorce. It was just what I
you didn't show up because you're on shrooms.
This is probably
typical Ken behavior.
There's probably something you guys can relate to when you're. What I kept hearing the feedback was, "Well, you were off doing comedy for so long that we never saw you anymore."
How dare you have?
It's like, I had a job where I work weekends, and I didn't hang out with the group as much as they would have liked, and I made friends with comedians, and you make fast friends with comedians. Yeah.
Right, I can work a weekend with
so-
someone and you're texting.
So I think there was like hurt feelings that I wasn't as available. They all were like 9 to 5s, home on the weekends, and they would all hang out and make plans, and I was never around. So everybody had hurt feelings. So then I think when this happened, it was almost like it felt like they were kind of like lining up to pour gas on the fire.
But meanwhile, it's because of the job he had.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was sitting at home going, "Nah, I don't want to hang out with
Right.
you guys."
Yeah, I'm
or
gonna
just got a
play
new set of
PlayStation.
friends.
Yeah.
And it, like all of a sudden, you
Yeah.
know, these new hipster friends, and he's not hanging out with them anymore. The guy's fucking working.
Like, you
That's
think-
what he's doing.
You think
Like-
another dude would understand that? Like, if I had a childhood friend that became a rock star, and
Right.
I'd be like, of course he doesn't hang out with me anymore. He's doing heroin and fucking people the way he should be. But can you invite me to your mansion in 3 years from now?
Right.
Like,
and
let
when
me
you
have
come
one
through
great
town,
week.
can you hook
Well,
me
that's-
up at
that's-
fucking MetLife Stadium? I get
Right,
backstage.
right.
That's
I'll
it.
see you once every 5 years. I don't give a shit.
That's the funniest thing, because if I had made it at that level, these would have been the people that were riding in the limos with me. You know,
Right.
like these would have been the first people to jump in.
Yeah.
See, Ken, that should be your motivation to get huge as a comic.
Yeah.
And then they'll eventually come around. Let's say Ken becomes the next Shane Gillis and is selling
Right.
out arenas. You
Right.
don't think those guys are going to come back around again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm
When
sure.
they're all like, "Oh my God, Ken's so funny. Do you see him? He's my favorite comic."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
grew up with him. I grew up
Eventually,
with that guy.
you know,
Yeah.
So that just then, that's your motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm all friends with guys that I've known since first grade, third grade, 10th grade.
Right.
Still hang out with them whenever we can.
Sure.
Mostly like on Sundays, watching football, whatever. But they never got jealous that I wasn't around when they were doing shit. My family never got jealous that I couldn't make an event on a
Yeah,
weekend because I
yeah.
was working.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's like, because I think that's kind of my point about this, like probably adhering to the wives. Most of these people probably in their heart don't really care. They are doing it because they're connected to someone else who's telling them they should care.
God forbid their
Right?
friend.
That's gotta
God
be
forbid
it.
their friend tries to follow his dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what's
yeah.
more
You
fun?
know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
God forbid. Yeah, I know.
And-
So you're jealous.
And by the
You're an
way,
accountant. You hate your life. You hate your
Right.
job. Why are you mad at me for doing something? Like,
if
it's weird, man.
if they have hurt feelings and they didn't feel as close to me and we grew apart, okay, I can accept that. I still would have made the choice. I still would have chased the dream.
I just don't
But
understand.
I just don't understand
feel
how
that
they
close.
feel like entitled to
If my friend
jump in.
that I've known
Yeah,
since
yeah.
10, I'm just picturing a guy right now that I know.
yeah.
If he took me to a diner to tell me that we're basically, I'm not going to hang out with you because you weren't around
Yeah.
because of your job and we were making plans, you were never there anymore. You're rarely there. I'd be like, where's the camera? This is a joke, right?
Yeah, right.
There's a hidden camera. This has got to be.
Exactly what I said to him when he first told me the story. I was like, I would be out of that diner so fast. I'd be like,
Right.
save yourself
Yeah,
the breath.
exactly.
Fucking, I'm gonna still eat. That's what I said. I was like, I'm still gonna eat my food. Save yourself the breath. We don't have to do this. What you're doing right now, I'm already, telling the landlord. I'm already out.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking up with the dude.
Oh, you know it's so
I don't want to
funny.
even break up with women when I have to break up. I'm not breaking up with a dude.
He broke up with me. I told him, I was like, the last thing I said to him, I listened to everything that he had to say. I apologized. And I'd already apologized for the shit that he was upset about a few times. But I heard it again. I apologized again. And then I told him, you know what? I'm having a hard time because my ex and this dude bring my daughter around all of my old friends.
Right.
And that's just, it's weird to me. And I told him, I'm like, I'm having a hard time thinking that like my daughter's at your house when you feel this way about me. And he goes,
That's a good fucking point.
yeah.
That's a good fucking
I was
point,
like,
man.
I was like, I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around it. And he goes, he's like, well, do I have to ask your ex for permission to bring your daughter over my house? And I said, are you lifelong friends with my ex? And he goes, I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. I didn't do anything wrong. Fuck your feelings. And then he threw $20 on the table and stormed
whore.
out.
Here you
Did you at
whore.
least get food?
Yeah, we'd already started eating, but listen to how funny this is. I don't know if I told you.
is it a
I
good
sat there. I sat there like in such stunned, like I was so shocked. The waitress came and put a scoop of ice cream in front of me and said, you look like you could use that.
That's a great movie scene. That's a fucking movie scene.
I said it felt like when Harry met Sally. Like I just got
my coffee. That's so sad. That's so sad.
Not as sad as the fact that I ate some of it. I was
I would
okay.
Yeah.
I would eat it.
Did you say happy birthday, by the way?
Yeah. I would make sure, and I would pretend to cry while I ate it just to make sure I didn't get chocolate on top of my ice cream. That's so sad. The waitress like, oh man, this guy's going through it. This is a dude's just. His lover just stormed down, threw money at him.
I know. They're probably like, "Oh, that was the toughest gay breakup I've ever seen."
Yeah, he's taking it pretty hard.
Yeah.
My sister married a child, a friend of the family forever. I've known him since I was 10. He was my brother's best friend.
Okay,
and he went, and then they were going to go through a divorce a few years back. They were married like 28 years, and the guy was, basically one of us. He's one of the family.
Yeah,
known him forever. And then she's like, if we get divorced, you just. Sorry that he's not going to be around anymore. I go, I'm still going to be friends with him.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you mean?
I go, look, I'm not going to badmouth you, but he's still going to come over my house on Sunday to watch football, like he always did. You're going to bring him over. I go, what did he do wrong? Because you guys didn't get along. I'm not just going to abandon him.
Yeah.
And they wound up getting back together, but there's no way. I don't care if and she was annoyed that I told her that. I go, he's still going to come around.
Yeah, I was friends with. We were already all friends with him.
Yeah,
you decided to date him.
Right. It's like I'm not, if he did something, look, if he beat you up or something, of course you're out. I'll never talk to you again. But she just wanted out because she was, annoyed with him.
Right. She didn't want to be with him anymore. He's kind of the victim.
Yeah. And he's like, he didn't want to get divorced.
Yeah. Yeah. That, I don't get the guy breakup thing. That one blows my mind. Because I think about guys I used to be friends with that I'm not friends with anymore. And there was never even a conversation. It was just like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's not even a moment. Maybe you get into a little argument or something, and it's not like an argument to end the friendship. It's just an argument that happens, and you're like, well, fuck him. And that's it. Never see that guy again.
At some point, like when his daughter's like 15, 16, somewhere around there, he's going to tell, hey, this is what happened. And all my friends sided with him, and all my childhood friends, even the girls, like his daughter's like, are you serious? Wow. Yeah. That's pathetic. She'll understand it. She's not going to understand it now, but she will.
Right. Yeah. Right. You'll start, because there's a thing that happens with, like I remember being a teenager myself, when you start seeing your parents for like in a very human way, they stop becoming like, oh, they're my parental figure. Yeah. Because now you're entering adulthood, and good or bad, you start seeing your parents for what they are, right? She'll recognize the good and the bad about you. She'll recognize that, like you didn't really do anything wrong in that situation. She'll also recognize that maybe you do too many shrooms. She'll understand all of the things about you that she didn't notice in the past. She thought Dad was sleepy a lot, but it's there's maybe a lot of shrooms involved. It's all good, but like that's what a lot. I always think about it with my wife. I'm like, if we ended up not together, I'm like, the kid is the hardest part. I'm thinking about my kid is my entire fucking life right now. My daughter's 4. So it's like, it's so like, she needs us for everything. It's still a kid thing, And so I can't even imagine it. Maybe when your kid gets older, it's different. But like, I can't even imagine like not seeing my daughter every day.
Yeah.
So
that's tough.
That's the hardest part about it, right? So my point is like, if it got to that point, it's like, in my mind, and it probably wouldn't be this easy. In my mind, I'm like, what is the situation in which I still get to see this kid all the time? That's all I'd be thinking about logically now while I'm still with her. But then when it actually happens, I've been through breakups that didn't even have kids involved. It's never that easy. Emotions get involved, and it gets, there's animosity, and it's never that easy, I guess,
Well, that's what I did, when I was married. I'm like, all right, listen, I'm committed in this marriage. I'm not going to cheat, because I just thought, all right, if I cheat and I get caught, I thought the worst case scenario, I'm going to see my kid half the week.
Absolutely.
Instead of the full week.
Yeah.
I want to see him every day. So that's going to keep me from sticking my dick in some strange girl on the road. And that did. I'm like, there's the consequence if I do that.
In a way, you're not cheating on your kid.
It's not worth it. It's funny. I said to somebody, goes, it's funny how you didn't put your wife in the mix about she would be hurt, just at your kid. I go, well,
No, it's true though. We had this conversation the other day where my daughter said to me, I said, I love you more than anything in the world. And she goes, more than mommy? I'm like, yeah. My wife was right there. She's like, what the fuck? I'm like, but here's the thing. And you love her more than you love me.
Right.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not maybe not nice to say right in front of them. Maybe like, yeah, no. But that is how it's supposed to. You can't love adult a person that wasn't in your life from the second to your kid.
I know.
It's not the same fucking love. Like, I'm sorry. I do love my wife to death. Whatever, right? Yes,
I would have pulled my kid aside and go, look, mommy's actually like 5th on my love list. I got the fucking Rangers.
Yeah. The whole roster. Wait, the whole roster of the Rangers, by the way. It's not the Rangers. Let's talk about at least the starting Rangers. 5. At least the starting 5 of the Rangers.
Messier won the cup in '96.
Yeah, big moment, right? Yeah. I mean, your mom never made me feel like Rick.
94. It was the Knicks were a game away. It was a game away from Knicks and Rangers.
Right.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. Your mom never made me feel like Adam Graves. You know?
But Stanley Cups as your mom brought home.
Like even now, like if I meet a girl, I'm like, listen, you're 3rd on the list. My kid is number 1. Yeah. My career's 2. You know, family and friends put in there, and then you come. So that's where you on the list. And you're not getting any higher.
You're not getting any higher, but it's proud 3rd.
Yeah. Right. What's wrong with 3rd?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with 3rd.
They're great. And the other 2 things are, well, I mean, the career, that one people may argue, but it's true because with stand-up, it's like you have to be so dedicated that you miss.
Yeah, it's my job, basically. Yeah. My job's going to be more,
Yeah.
I'm not just going to take weekends off because you want to go fucking pumpkin picking.
Right. But at the same time, it's hard for people who don't do it to understand that because most of their jobs are a means to an end for a paycheck. Most people don't love their jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they don't have the kind of job, because there's also love-hate with stand-up, but like, they don't have the kind of job where they have to just on a dime. I gotta go. Like they have their 9-to-5 job. And they know what their hours are. They plan all their life around it. And it's like, it's that fucking thing where people are like, gotta get to Friday, like that's it. They're working for the thing. It's like Friday's the beginning of our thing. And then it's like if you weren't completely in love with it, you wouldn't do it.
Right.
This is it's not a career. It's not like, oh, this is a high paying job. It's like for most of the time, it's not. And even when it is high paying, it's like you still have to fucking grind and make your shit new and be totally invested. It's not the same thing. So you do have to kind of be in love with stand up, but no woman's going to want to hear. Yeah, I'm second to your kid. Yeah. But second to stand up.
Well, just say, look, man, I'll meet you halfway with the career stuff. I'm not just going to, end my career for you. I'm not just going to make decisions going, hey, my 3rd cousin is getting married in Pennsylvania. Yeah, well, I'm doing, I'm headlining Joe Rogan's club this weekend, so I'm doing that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know those people. You told me you were independent when I first met you. Let's see your fucking independence and go by yourself.
Let's just turn it around. But a kid, man, I mean, like you can't have you're right. Like you're even if your wife is second, right, to your kid, it's a far. There's a thing that happens the second you see your kid in that hospital that you can't feel that way about a person you met as an adult.
Yeah.
You can't. You don't have that bond.
I got to tell you, like I have stepkids and it's hard to even feel that way about your stepkids.
Well, yeah.
Me and my wife joke all the time. We'll be like, I love your kids just as much as I love mine.
Right. You can love them like uncle, maybe. You can love them. That's a different kind of bond. But you're there when your fucking kid is born. You see them. You see like there's nothing, and then all of a sudden there's this fucking person there that you made, and they need you. Like because the first few months of your kid being like you're an infant, it's such a mind fuck too because the kid needs you for everything. They're shitting all over themselves. They're fucking pathetic, right? It's like you got to do everything for the kid. That's a different that they leech onto your fucking emotions in your heart in a way that no fucking adult could.
Yeah,
no other person could get to you like that.
Nobody had better stepkid jokes than Rich Voss.
Yeah,
years ago he goes, "I have a stepkid now, which is great, so I don't have to hit my kids." He goes, no, but I love him. I do. He goes, I go in his room at night. I tell him those 3 little words. It's our secret. Classic.
Yeah.
It's our secret. I don't have to hit my kids.
That's great.
What if John Moses has one where it's like, they're called step kids because those are the ones you step over to get your kid to safety. Like if there's a fire.
Yeah, it's like, step kids is like, As long as you're cool, we'll be all right. Are you a cool stepkid? Because then we'll be all right. Like your kid could be an asshole, and you gotta they're your kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what does your ex-wife think of your new wife? Do they get along?
They know. Well, they haven't been around each other too much.
Like the birthday party, was both of them there together?
No, I didn't even bring my wife because it still gets so like awkward and uncomfortable that I would rather just take the hit myself.
Okay.
And so my daughter is more comfortable,
How often have they seen each other?
Handful of times. There's been like a wedding or two.
They didn't know each other because you knew your current wife, you knew for years.
Yes. I mean, she knew, my ex knew of my wife. She knew that I had this ex. Yeah.
God, but that was just next to her.
Right.
So she's telling everyone. Yeah, I bet you were having an affair the whole time. He dated her before me. No question. What a piece of shit. So she's feeding all of that.
There is for sure some of that.
Because she's dating a friend.
Right. Wait a minute.
Listen.
Maybe I should sit this one.
I'm not. I shouldn't say this. I'm not even allowed in my old house anymore. The house that I bought.
Well, it's like. Yeah, it's kind of like an unwritten rule. You don't go in the house. Like if I have to go pick up my kid, or she'll come to the door. She's not going to come in.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go in either.
Yeah,
unless they say, "Hey, come on in" or whatever. So,
what's a different house though?
No, same house.
Oh, it's in the same house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's because. Wait. I thought you said you had the house from.
Yeah, so it's the same house that we lived in, me and my ex.
Right. You're in the same house now.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, but your ex is in a new house. So if you have to go,
house. Yeah. But even then, you don't just like.
You don't. Yeah. Yeah, because now you're just walking into another marriage.
I want her to come in. I go, I want you to walk in the kitchen and see that I took your live, love, laugh sign down.
Yeah, it's not wine o'clock anymore. All right, Yeah, put new cabinets in. These are really nice. Just start showing her all the upgrades.
Do you know what's funny though? Like after I got divorced and then moved in with my wife, like I became all the things that my ex wanted me to become. Right. Like if she knew how helpful I was around the house now, her head would explode. She would be like, you never do dishes, you never clean up, you don't help with laundry. And now like I do all that.
Well, what made you change?
He married a lawyer and she's like, you're going to step it up in this house.
Well, yeah, I mean to a degree, but also like I'm happier. There's just so I found out I was so unhappy in my marriage, but I didn't even know I was unhappy. So like I was depressed and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you take mushrooms, the side effect is cooking and cleaning.
I don't take mushrooms nearly as much. I go through it's like White Castle. Like every few years I'll do it a bunch and then I'm like, I'm good. And then I don't do it for another few years.
This must have been one of your heavier White Castle years. I feel like I've heard a lot of mushroom stories.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, I guess that could be because you're happy now. So you're like, no problem, I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well,
but also like I'm getting
you don't want to leave it for them. You're like, oh, I'll wash the dishes. You came home after a long day, I'll wash,
But I'm getting the things that I was missing. Like the things that I wanted that I wasn't getting, I'm getting now. So I'm like, hey, how can I pitch in? What can I do?
Yeah.
What, anal?
He's finally getting his anal.
I do the dishes for that.
Receiving though. Like it's yeah. It's like
either way.
Yeah, I've been looking for this pegging moment for years. Thank you. Jim, thanks so much for coming on, man. One something I want to plug is we're all doing a show together at SmodCastle. It's Kevin Smith's SmodCastle Cinemas, SmodCastleCinemas.com for tickets. You're headlining our show on
May 8th.
May 8th, yeah. 7:30. It's a really cool venue. We're so excited to have you on and headline it.
I'm excited too. Yeah. I haven't been there yet.
It's cool. I was just there Friday night. It's a cool old school movie theater.
Love that. Yeah.
We have a lot of friends who've done like their specials there, right? Mm-hmm. Like we have a lot of people who've been here that have done their specials there. It's a cool place. And so excited. It's our first one that the podcast is like putting together. Mike Scully, I believe, is going to host, and then we'll all be there. So SmodCastleCinemas.com for tickets. If you have anything else to plug, yeah. Thanks so much for coming on, man. It's a bit
I
too much.
appreciate it, man. It was great.
Yeah, thanks so much. Bit Too Much podcast on all the socials. Tune in, like, subscribe, do all the things. Bye.
All right. Thanks.
Yep.
See you next week.